Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's adventure. It is Friday, the 22nd of, I almost said May. It's friggin' August. It's not May. 2025, and Dottie and I are headed to Angel Fire because I know I work Friday, so I just finished the session. I'm racing into Angel Fire to buy a piece of steak and a side dish because the Weathers RV Park is having their August cookout at noon, and I wasn't going to come because I had appointments scheduled, unfortunately, sadly. But the noon one canceled out, so I'm going to be able to make it. I have an 11 o'clock and a 1 o'clock. So I can do it. I can be there. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to be there. Dottie and I are headed together. And I actually forgot to bring a camera. So I'm using my phone. What do you think? I'm trying to arrange this what do you think? It'll be hysterical if you guys say, you know what? This is the best quality video you've done. And it's my iPhone. It's my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I didn't get the 16 last year. It just didn't seem to be enough of a difference to fork out $1,000. Even when you trade in your, last year's model, you don't get that much for it. It's not really worth it. So I'm wondering about, I think I'll skip this year too, because I just made a big investment in computer equipment. Well, two investments. One, I told you I had a whole video on how I'm refurbishing my old laptop as my backup. And I've decided the main laptop I have is I bought it in 2021. It's a Dell, is it G15? I think it's is it G15? 5511? Anyway, I think it's a G15. That doesn't seem right. Anyway, it's a really good Dell laptop that I'm going to sell on eBay because I'm replacing it with a Apple product. Apple. But so here's kind of the backstory on it. I've been doing longer videos, higher resolution videos, new cameras, and it's still adequate, but there's often I'll have to wait an hour, 2 hours for things to render, and it's just it's at the limit. It's at the very limits of the current PC, it's a very good PC, or laptop rather. Laptop is a PC. So, I did, and also I had a 2015 MacBook Air that I just sold on eBay. And I just need to print out the label for it. I forgot to stop by the library to print it. I wonder if the library in Angel Fire is open. We'll see. We'll drive by the library and see if it's open in Angel Fire. I forgot to look up when the libraries are open. I think it's Friday. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because I like giving donations to my Eagle Nest library, I think I'll do that on the way back. If I remember. Right, Dottie? So I'm curious of how the sound in the video, I think the video quality is going to be pretty darn good here. The sound, I don't know. I'm just using the microphone that's built into the phone, so we'll see. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the new computer I'm getting. It's a desktop, not a laptop. Really? So you're not going to have a laptop? Well, the reason I have a laptop is that the close quarters and the little desk I have in the trailer, and they make a Mac Mini. And the Mac Mini turns out to be this incredibly powerful little series of computers that are the entry level to it's only $599. Now, granted, keep this in mind, and the size of it, when they mean mini, they mean mini. It's a desktop, about twice the size of the little Apple TV box. Seriously, it's that small. Now, you have to keep in mind that all it is the little box. You have to buy a keyboard, a mouse, and a monitor, which you can buy the Dell Studio monitor for a couple $1,000s. I think it's $1,700. I'm not doing that. I bought a portable monitor for like a little over a portable 4K monitor for like $150. So it's small. And a keyboard I bought very inexpensively. And then there's like a little docking thing you can put a memory stick in to increase the capacity. I won't bore you with all that. But the price for the computer starts at $599 for this really super powerful desktop computer. And it goes all the way up from the base model to the Pro model starts at like $1,300, $1,299, I think. And then you can do processor and memory and storage upgrades. And you can get it up to like $2,800 if you add everything or close to. I didn't do that. But I didn't buy the $599 either. Actually, honestly, I bought the $599 first, and then I changed my mind and I canceled it. Well, it was too late, but so it's here. I just picked it up. I'm not going to even open the box. I've processed a return. I'm gonna send it back. I got to print out that label too, as a matter of fact. I forgot about that. I lost my train of thought. But, it's a beautiful day and the drive is beautiful. So losing my train of thought is not that big a deal, is it? It really isn't. So I'm returning that one, and I bought the Pro model, but the base, so $1,300. And I should get, I sold the MacBook Air. It's pretty old. And I tried to trade it in for the new one, and I put all the information in and said, congratulations, if you send it to us, we'll throw it away for you. We'll recycle it for you. It's not worth anything. So I sold it for like $65 on eBay. So it's $65. It's better than nothing. And so, but I think I'll get about $700 for my, my Dell, because I've looked at, there are a lot of 4 or 5 of the base model selling for like $650, but I've got like the base model has, I don't know, 16 gigs of RAM. I have 64, right? And the base has like 256 gigs of storage. I have 2 terabytes. So it's beefed up. So somebody will grab it at 700, I'm sure. So it's offsetting about almost half the cost of the new one. And the new one is going to be way, I've watched demonstrations on YouTube videos of this pro model doing exactly the kind of video editing that I'm doing. And it's really efficient and good, and I'm pretty excited about that. Now, it's not portable like a laptop, but it is portable. I bought a portable screen, that folds up, and I bought a keyboard, and I have my wire. I could easily fit it all in my little day pack if I needed to, and it just doesn't have it doesn't have a battery. You'd have to plug it in. That's the big difference. But I never use my laptop on the battery. Never. I don't take it anywhere. I don't go to coffee shops and sit and work on my laptop. I just don't do that. And I will always have, the other thing I have to mail out is I got the box today from the repair company in Austin that's going to work on my old Alienware and kind of upgrade that and buff it up. So if I really do want to go and do some work somewhere on a laptop, I still have that laptop. So to me, the evolving tech and everything it's pretty exciting for me. I really love it. I like it. So I've managed to talk for the full 11 minutes and 51 seconds it took to drive to Angel Fire, because we're about to arrive here. There's the telltale orange signs for the construction. The construction is, if you keep going straight here and you pass Angel Fire, you go into Taos. And there's road construction there. It's one-way traffic, so up here you have to stop and wait usually. But we'll see how backed up it is to see if we'll be able to make our left-hand turn here. It looks like no one stopped there, so we'll be able to make our strictly no crossing the double yellow. Yeah, you know why they have the don't cross the double yellow? Because people wanting to go to Angel Fire, it gets backed up to like here, and they have to wait for the line to go just to make this left up here before the construction. So people have been going in the opposing lane just to save time, and that's dangerous. And people have been getting really upset about it. So there've probably been enough to complaints to the state where they put that warning sign saying, shame on you, don't do that. So the other treat I'm going to get myself, I get here every couple of weeks, is a Subway sandwich that I'll have cut into quarters, and I'll have that in my fridge for meals the next couple of days. But noon meal is going to be, I'm going to buy the smallest steak I could possibly see in there. Because that's the thing, everybody brings their own piece of meat. We grill outside, and it's a tradition. And it's a steak tradition. And you know what? I don't know if any of you else relate to this personal phenomenon. And this is it. When I was a young guy and a kid, I loved, with a capital L, all caps, underlined, bold, flashing red, loved red meat, especially steak. And now in my age, which by the way, if you don't know me, I'm 65. I really don't get that. I don't get anywhere near that pleasure anymore in the taste of red meat. I don't. None. Zero. Almost zero. Extremely rare for me to order a steak or cook a steak. My taste buds have changed. I don't, but I was talking to Marty, who owns the RV park, and she's in my age range, and she said she feels exactly the same way. She used to love steak as a young person, doesn't love it anymore. And you know what I'm really like? I've been making don't tell anyone this, but I've been making my own salads. I've been eating salads voluntarily, but it's not anything fancy. It's like the bags of mixed lettuce that you can buy, cherry tomatoes, and I bought a big thing of ham, and I chopped it up. I froze most of it because it was so big, but chopped ham and cheese. So it's kind of they call it a chef's salad. It's a cheese salad, but at least I'm eating tomatoes and lettuce, right? But I really like that. I'm even not liking, I would, for years, I would say my very favorite, I'm stopping at Subway, so I still love sandwiches, but much more sparingly. Than it used to be. Now, I like sandwiches. I'm going to buy a Subway sandwich here, but I don't have the passion I used to have for sandwiches and bread either. But I'm very odd that my tastes have changed. And maybe it's a biological good thing where it's steering me towards more healthy things. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me what you think about my experience. If you have the same experience, if you don't, if you have a different experience where your relationship with food has changed as you've aged. As you've aged as an over 60, either RVer or over 60 person interested in this lifestyle. The other thing, we're here. So I will have to continue this after I go in and do the grocery shopping. So I'm going to leave you out here with Dottie because I know I often film in the grocery store, but it's super awkward with a phone and filming. You look kind of, I like having a small camera that people don't really notice when I go into a store and film, so I'm not going to do that. Be right back. So remember I said there's another thing I wanted to talk about before I went in the grocery store? I don't have a clue what I was talking about. Not a clue. And I actually gave it some thought in the grocery store. And I still have no idea. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around. We're going to drive back the Eagle Nest, and I'm going to blather on about whatever, and maybe it'll come back to me. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Angel Fire, it's pretty nice. There are no slouches here. It's beautiful here too. Look, I turn around, look at that mountain, look at that ski mountain. That is a bicycle mountain in the summer. It's actually world class, and the only reason why it's not, there's sort of like an international thing that happens every year, and they were having it here, and the only reason they stopped was access to being able to fly in. There's no big airport anywhere near here, so that's the only reason. The participants just loved it. And there's a real cottage industry here in Angel Fire they take you up on your mountain bike on the lift, and you ride down the mountain, which Dottie and I don't do because we'll fall. Right, Dottie? Oh. So for those of you that follow both me and Deborah Dickinson, by the time I published this, and Deborah would have announced the devastating news that her beloved dog Bandit has passed, and when I found, I was so hopeful. I just was so sure that Bandit was going to bounce back and live for many more years. And look, I didn't make it. And it's just, I'm so sad over that. I know what it's like to lose a dog that means everything to you. Dottie's my third, so I've taken that heavy loss twice. And my other friend adventuring with Amanda lost her dog this year. She's still devastated. It's not something that everyone handles the same way. Myself, the last two, I adopted another dog within a week, and it softened the blow for me, but I think I'm lucky like that, that I'm able to do that. And some people aren't able to even think about another dog after they lose one. My rationalization has always been, well, it's time to rescue another one. I rescue another one that's from a hard life, right? So that's my rationalization, and it's worked out well. My dog Sadie died on a Saturday, and I adopted Dottie a week later, right, Dottie? I rescued Dottie. Dottie was originally pulled out of a kill shelter in, I think, South Carolina, and she was with a nonprofit group up in Texas, in Virginia, where I was, and she was adopted twice and rejected twice, brought back for being, get this, too needy. Are you friggin' kidding me? And when I came in and said I wanted to adopt her, usually there's a 24-hour waiting period, and the lady that was the head of the organization happened to be there, and she said, you can take her right now. You don't have to wait 24 hours. And it turns out Dottie and I were just another match made in heaven, as were Sadie and Collar, the two dogs I had before that. Collar was an Australian Shepherd that was the offspring of my brother's dog in Idaho. And Collar was with me for 15 years. And then a week after Collar died, I adopted Sadie, which Sadie was a Springer Spaniel that I got out of the Fairfax County. I think it was Fairfax County, or was it Dallas? No, I was in Texas, but it was out of the shelter. And I remember thinking on the way home, and when we got in the house that first day, I'm thinking, oh my God, I've made a horrible mistake. Because there was no connection at all in that first day between Sadie and I. And that changed really, really quickly. I loved my Sadie dog, and my Collar dog, and now my Dottie dog. And I'm sure after Dottie's blessed time with me and on this earth is over, I'll rescue another one and keep that up as long as I can. Because I love dogs. And I don't think it's any accident that dog is God spelled backwards. It's the only reliable source of unconditional love, I think, that you're likely to easily find on this earth. That's how I feel about it. So hopefully I'll remember on my way back here to stop and print those. I've got to print, is it 2 labels I have to print? I have to return the computer to Apple, the first one that I decided I didn't want. And if I didn't explain that properly, I bought the base model and then decided, you know what, I want to get the upgraded one, and I tried to cancel it. It was, even within less than an hour, it was too late to cancel. That's how fast they move at Apple. So they processed a return and said, just send it back and we'll give you a refund. But I need to print 3 labels, because I need to get the label for the guy that bought my MacBook Air, and I need to print the label. Oh no, the label's probably included in the my Alienware that I'm sending. So I don't, 2 labels. I need the label for the sale that I did on the old MacBook Air I have, and the label to return the Apple computer. So I'm actually mailing off 2 Apple products. Isn't that different? I can't remember what I paid for my MacBook Air laptop in 2015, but I can tell you it was considerably more than $65. I bet you it was. I bought it in the Apple store. It was friggin' expensive. That didn't hold its value. The Alienware that I bought, 2 years before that, is worth probably 4 times that. I think I could get $200 for that Alienware. So that held its value a lot better. I'm surprised, very surprised. You know, when I bought the new Mac that will be delivered, by the way, on Monday, they had, I think I mentioned this earlier, but forgive me if I'm repeating myself, they had a feature that says if you'd like to trade in an Apple product, we'll give you credit. So they march you through the serial number on it and everything, so they know exactly what it is you have. And they came back with a very happy congratulations. And I'm like, wow, I got excited. I wonder how much they're going to give me. Congratulations. If you mail it to us, we'll dispose of it and recycle it properly. It doesn't really qualify for any kind of credit. You know, the least they could do is say, hey, send it back to us. We'll give you $20 off, you know, $20 off or something. It's their product. They should say, you know, the MacBook Air you bought 10 years ago, I guess, is pretty outdated, but if it's still working, we think it's worth $20. $20 in markup, it doesn't really cost them anything. It's like, give me a $20 discount just to give me a little bit more loyalty towards that. But that's not to be. So on these driving videos, some people say, hey, you know, you just drove this. You're on the same road you're driving. But you know what? I'm not. I'm on the same road and the same route, but I'm going the opposite direction. So you get a totally different view, don't you? You do. So if you're going to hang in with me, we're going all the way into Eagle Nest, all the way to the library. And when we pull in the parking lot, I didn't even look up to see if the library's open, but I'm almost certain that it is. We'll be there about 10 o'clock. It's 9:58. I'll go in there, print my labels, right? And get back in plenty of time for my 11 o'clock appointment. And yeah, I bought an $8 steak for today. It cost me $8 at this little expensive market. You can imagine how friggin' small that steak is. But that's okay. I just want a small steak, just to be, you know. Here's the thing. I told you I'm not that excited about the steak at all, right? But it's a social activity, and I spent $8 on the steak. Not only I could go and not eat a steak, but I wanted to be as much a part of the social event as possible. And if everyone else pretty much is bringing a steak, I'll bring one too. If I don't eat all of it, guess what Dottie gets? Right, Dottie? I wish you could see the look she just gave me. It's like, what? What do you want? What are you talking about? Are you saying my name? She's staring at me. My little dog. You know, Dottie and Bandit were buddies. And here's a funny thing. And after I got word from Deborah yesterday that Bandit didn't make it, none of this makes any sense intellectually. I wanted to give directly to Dottie that had happened. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I mean, I knew the words were going to be meaningless to Dottie, but I guess I wanted to tell her directly, for me, your buddy. I just couldn't do it. I still can't. It's just that I can't even really describe it because I'm in front of that. It's just a very strange thing. I know Deborah spent over $10,000 trying to save that little dog's life, and she'd do it. I know her, she'd do it over again in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, she'd do it over again. I saw a really nasty comment about that whole situation, criticizing her for soliciting money. Deborah didn't ask anybody for a dime, not a dime. I did, and I did a video. I asked, right? And the only communication that I had with Deborah about it was to get her permission to do a video about what's going on, because it wasn't right to do a video. So, and she okayed it. You can go ahead and do it. And the other donations she got were totally out of the kindness of, she's sharing her life. You don't think of when Dottie had the arthritis, and I was talking about that. If it were more serious and there was a life threat, you'd bet I'd be talking about Dottie's life threat. Are you kidding me? Of course I would, because that's a huge part of my life. I wouldn't hide that on my YouTube channel. I couldn't. You wouldn't. You would, when that happens with Dottie, I'm not going to try to hide my devastation by continuing to do videos every day and faking being okay. Because trust me, I'm not going to be okay I'm not going to be okay when that happens for a while. And I'm not going to stop posting videos. As joyous and free and enthusiastic as I am, you know what? You ever remember this phrase? Bad things happen to good people. They do. So, which means bad things happen to all of us. The rain falls on the just and unjust alike. And we just passed Golden Eagle RV Park. They have that every Friday. They have that. Right about now, they start, I think, 10 to 1. They do like kind of a farmer's market there. It's pretty cool. So we made it. Two good pieces of news. We made it into the village of Eagle Nest here. And by the way, if you make a left right here at the Valero, in about 11 miles, you'll go over Bobcat Pass, which is just shy of 10,000 feet. And over that pass and to the other side, you'll be in wonderful little town of Red River, which we need to go there again before the season ends. Red River's pretty cool. And I love the market there. Dare Market, it's called. Then the candy store. I need to take you into the candy store this year. The candy store is pretty wonderful too. But here we are in the center of the village, 10 a.m. on a Friday. And we're going to make a left up here pretty soon and head into the library to print out our 2 mailing labels. And it's right in the mid. Looks like we're going to turn into the fire department here, but there's in the building here, same building, we have the library and the senior center. And I will be right back, gang. Right back. So the library's closed until further notice. I don't know anything about what's going on there. So I had to go to the museum, get permission to use the printer there, and it took 35 minutes for me to get that going because they've never really connected the printer to the computer since they bought the printer. So I got that done, and then I had to jump through all sorts of hoops, which I appreciate, to sign on to my email from a strange computer. And after I jumped through all the hoops, I got it done. Got her done. So that is going to be today's video. We're just going to jump home, hop on the computer, do my 11 o'clock, go over to the cookout, come back, do another session, work on getting the laptop that I'm selling ready. There's all sorts of hoops I need to jump through to reset it and get all my data off it. But it keeps this guy busy, doesn't it? Keeps me busy. And when a busy Rob is a happy Rob. Busy Rob is a happy Rob. And that's one of the keys of full-time RV life, is keeping your butt busy with things that interest you. Now, that's the thing with like all the hoops I need to jump through to get that laptop ready to be sold. It's convoluted, but I love tech and I love gadgets, so I enjoy the exploration of getting it done. So it's busy work, but it's my kind of busy work. You know what? I'm thinking this internal screen is terrible, isn't it? I think I don't know. Is it as bad as it looks? We'll see when we go into editing. I apologize if it's all cloudy, and I think it may be the screen protect. Maybe I didn't wipe the lens off enough when I put on the new screen protector, or the screen protector's messy. Let's get a finger over that. Is that any better? What do you think, Dottie? That maybe looks a little better. Maybe it was smudged. Who knows? But we are back at camp, and we have completed yet another YouTube video. Yay! I shouldn't be okay. I shouldn't be this happy, should I? But it's a good life. Even though bad things happen, it's still a good life. I'll take care, and I'll see you in the next one.